Welcome to episode 1 of Hatoraid Hour, a new video podcast series that I'm starting on my channel. And this is episode 1. And for those of you who may not know who I am, if you're just visiting the channel for the first time, maybe you saw the thumbnail and you clicked on it because it looked interesting. My name is Jordan, aka the Hatoraid Cowboy, and this is my channel, Hatoraid Cowboy Cinema. I do tips, tutorials, reviews, unboxings, and interviews on all things home theater. So if that's something that you love, if you're a home theater enthusiast, then why don't you consider hitting the subscribe button and hitting the bell notification so you know when I upload new content. And like this video. If you like Emotiva, if you like the content that I'm producing here, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button so that the algorithm can push that out to other people who also like the same thing. So before we get into it, I wanted to say that I wanted to create a podcast because I wanted to do something on the channel. I wanted to have a video series that was more laid back, mainly for me, but for you guys as well. But I wanted to do something that was more laid back, something where I can just relax and I can talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about. And I don't have to worry about using a script. I don't have to worry about using my teleprompter. I don't have to worry about my video being perfect. This is just more candid and I guess more intimate. Was that weird to say? Whatever. But I recently went to the Texas Audio Roundup in Austin, Texas this past weekend. That was July the 22nd through the 23rd. And I live in Houston, Texas, so I drove about 2.5 hours to make this event because I was like, I don't know if this is ever going to come back around and I can't miss this. I've got too many opportunities. There's going to be so much content there. So I got a lot of video and photos that I haven't shown anybody yet. I wanted to save it for this podcast. Now, some of the content I have already posted, the interviews. I'm not going to show that in this video. If you want to go see those interviews, you can go look at them on my channel. This podcast is mainly specifically going to be focused on Emotiva. I have some other things that I want to talk about too, but it's mainly going to be Emotiva. So for all you Emotiva heads out there that are, loyal, I'm going to give you basically behind the scenes. For those of you who weren't able to make it to the actual show, I want you to feel like you were actually there. And this is my first time going to any of these type of shows. So forgive me if I didn't cover everything or if I didn't get everything because I was trying to catch my bearings and I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this. So let's go ahead and get into it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you everything that I took from videos and photos, and then we can discuss it. You can let me know what your thoughts down in the comments if you have something that you want to say. And that also reminds me, this video series, this podcast is not only about me, it's about you guys too. I wanted to give you guys more of a chance to, talk about things home theater related. If you have questions, if you have topics, or if I'm reviewing a product, speaker, receiver, something, I want you guys to be able to contribute. So you can email me at hatoraidhour@gmail.com. And from time to time, I'll try to pick different topics that you guys send in and talk about it on the podcast because this is going to be an ongoing series. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing, and I'm looking at my laptop here. So here we have our Basics TA1 and PT1. So I'm going to pause that right there and I'm going to make this bigger. And so let's take a look. So we have our Basics A1, which is a monoblock power amplifier, and it's 200 watts RMS per channel into 8 ohms. And then we have, looks like that's 325 watts RMS per channel into 4 ohms. So you have the Basics TA1, which is a stereo preamp DAC tuner with an integrated amplifier, and then the Basics PT1 is a stereo preamplifier DAC and tuner. And then we go over here and we have our Basics A2. Let me see if I can make that clear. No, Shaky camera. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's pause it here. You have your Basics A3, which is a 3-channel power amplifier. And it looks like we have, I think that's 150 RMS per channel into 8 ohms and 250 RMS into 4 ohms. And that's with 2 channels driven. With all channels driven, you get 140 watts RMS into 8 ohms and 200 watts RMS per channel into 4 ohms. So again, guys, this is my first time. I was trying to get my bearings. It was a fun time. So here we all know about the XMC2. I'm sure everybody watching this, you probably clicked on the thumbnail because you're familiar with Emotiva, so you probably already know about some of these things. But I still want to give you an idea of what it's like to actually attend the Texas Audio Roundup. So this room right here was actually the showroom. So they had all of their products, current and new products that technically haven't been announced yet, at least on their website. But they had all these tables with a bunch of different amps. They had receivers. They had speakers, and we're going to go through all of that. But it was really cool to see all of the products. And you don't really realize how many products they have until you actually see them all out on the table. It's like, wow, man, you guys have a lot of products. Because I remember when I bought my amplifier, I have 3. I have the XPA 3 Gen 2, and then I have the UPA 700, which is a 7-channel amplifier at 80 watts. I believe it's 80 watts per channel. And then I have the Basics A100. But I remember when I bought my amplifier, my XPA 3 Gen 2, I've had it for almost 10 years. They didn't have half of the stuff that they have now. So they have really, really grown their company, and it's really great to see. So there's the XMC2. Beautiful. I love those colors. Those are my channel colors, by the way, black and royal blue. So I've always liked those colors. Some people don't like the lights, but then you have your RMC1, your RMC1L. So if we take a look, it looks like it supports DTS-X, Dolby Atmos, Dirac. I'm very interested to get a processor that supports Dirac Live because I've never experienced that. I've used Anthem's Arc, which I have, which is the best by far. That room correction is the best. I've used Onkyo's that had Odyssey, and then they've had their proprietary room correction software, which was absolutely horrible. I hope they don't still have that. And then I've tried MCACC. So I'm very curious. I can't wait. If you guys don't know, I did become a Emotiva affiliate at this event. That was one of the reasons why I went there, because I reached out to Emotiva before I went and told them who I was, told them I had a YouTube channel, that I was growing, and that I wanted to try to meet new people, try to meet new friends in the entertainment, AV system entertainment, to try to basically make a partnership and collaborate. And Nick, the content creation manager, reached back out to me. He said, hey man, once you get here, we'll talk about all that stuff and we can make you an Emotiva affiliate. So I'm excited because that means I can get products in to review, which is only going to help the channel grow, and it's going to help you guys as well. I don't think there's very much left of that video. So we'll exit out of there, and then we'll go. So this was actually in the theater room. So they had basically one humongous room split into 2 with curtains. So on one side was the showroom, which we just saw, and then on the other side, they had the home theater set up, Dolby Atmos, DTS-X. So there's not really a whole lot to see here. I believe that's Blade Runner. Just took some video when I was sitting there watching for a little bit, so we won't look at that too much. And then here, I'll turn that down a little bit. So here just kind of gives you a look at how the room was set up. So guys, I'm kicking myself really hard, really hard, because I didn't realize until after I got home that I didn't get a close-up of the new receiver that Dan announced. And I'm truly kicking myself because I can't believe that I did that. Jordan, you big dummy. But this is it right here. So this is the new receiver that he was talking about. And I've got my iPad here because I didn't want to forget the specs. And I'll also include the video of Dan when I interviewed him. Actually, you know what? I'm probably just going to play it right now, just so you can see it for the purpose of this podcast. What's up, everybody? I'm here at the Emotiva booth with the president of Emotiva, Dan Loffman.
Dan, yeah.
Thank you very much, Dan, for taking some time to talk to me. What kind of products do you have at the show?
Well, we've got, everybody pretty much knows Emotiva. So we have multi-channel, surround sound, Atmos, DTSX. So we're really big into 3D audio and surround sound decoding. And we're showing our processors, both our high-level processors, our new MC1, which has been out about 6 months. And then I'm previewing a new receiver, our first Atmos receiver that'll be out in about 2 months.
2 months?
And that's called the MR1, which everybody's pretty excited about. And it's 11 channels with 13.2 channel decoding,
Awesome.
and it's going to retail for under $2,000. And it's a powerhouse, 175 by 3 across the front channels and 100 by 8 for the surround channels. So that's going to be a big hit for us. We've got new integrated, new preamp, new stereo preamp, brand new line of subs we're showing. We've filled out our Emotiva line of loudspeakers, which are extremely popular, and they've turned on the theater, so it's a little loud. I apologize.
No problem.
And I hope you can still hear me. And then we've got a new bookshelf, new large format center channel, and our big C3 towers and our 2-channel room over here. And we recently released the new A1 Basics, A1 monoblock. So we just constantly have new gear coming out. And we haven't been on the road for over 2 years, so we're excited to be here. We're partnered up with my buddy Jason over at Shit. We've been friends for over 30 years, and we kept talking about doing something together, and we just said, well, like better now than never, so let's get going. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I live about 2.5 hours away from Houston, so I was like, I have to come out here and take this opportunity. What made you guys choose Austin?
You know, I think it's kind of a hot little town. You know, it's a hopping place. Jason's in LA and also in Corpus Christi, and we're in Nashville. And we thought, well, we'll just do this first one. Kind of, we'll meet in the middle a little bit, you know, and do it. And so we chose here. And then if this works well, we'll moving throughout the country doing some of these shows, and we'll probably make it to the point where we bring other brands in with us that are like-minded companies and have like a little independent trade show together. You know, my whole focus and Jason's focus is treat the customers like a guest. We don't want to monetize you. We're not going to charge you to get in. We feed you, we give you stuff to drink, we take good care of you, we give away a lot of gear and have a lot of fun, and we make it more a customer-centric event than just something that we monetize like a trade show company. And we just didn't like the vibe of most of the trade shows.
Yeah, this is actually my first trade show, I guess if you can call it that. But I have 3 Emotiva amps in my home theater, so I really appreciate you providing budget equipment for home theater enthusiasts like myself. And I know a lot of people watching, they're going to appreciate that too. So is this going to be a yearly thing?
Well, we used to do, before COVID, we were on the road all the time. We would do 2 or 3 shows a year, Emo Fest. This was some variant of it. We were like experimenting with this one, but we'll be back on the road again now that COVID has kind of let up a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But we like getting and meeting our customers, and this will happen, in some form or another. We'll keep it going, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys putting all this together, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
Be sure to go eat something.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
You too. Appreciate it, Dan. Okay, so the stats on the new receiver, it's called the Base X MR1, and it's an 11-channel receiver with 13.2 channel decoding. So I'm assuming that 13.2 is your pre-outs. So I'm assuming it's got 11 channels, and then if you have external amplification that you want to use, it's going to have 13 channel pre-outs. So the LCR, so your left, center, and right, is 175 watts per channel, and then the rest of the 8 surrounds are 100 watts per channel. So a beast of a receiver, and it's gonna retail for under $2,000. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be like $19.99, under $2,000, but we don't know yet. Could be cheaper than that. I don't know. Emotiva usually is pretty disruptive when they release products that kind of undercut some of the other companies. So my question, I have a couple questions, I'm sure you guys do, is does it have Dirac, not really sure how to say that, how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, or does it have EmoQ? I'm assuming because I'm going to lean towards it's going to be EmoQ just because it's under $2,000. But he said it's their first Atmos receiver, so it could have Dirac. If it has Dirac, that's going to be game changer. So I'm really excited about this receiver. I'm going to try to get that in the theater to test for you guys. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about that. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited about that. Also, I don't know if it has IMAX Enhanced on it or not. I'm assuming it's going to have Dolby Vision. I'm assuming it's going to have HDR10 Plus. Hopefully it'll have both. And I just made a video about HDR10 Plus if you want to go check that out. But yeah, is it going to have IMAX Enhanced? And so some of the stuff that was in the showroom, they didn't have, some of the stuff had spec sheets like you'll see on some of the little cards that they had, but I don't believe that one had any spec sheets on it. So I'm so angry at myself that I didn't go and get video of it. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to see. You've all seen receivers before. It's just going to be the front and the back, but it still would have been nice. But I do technically have video of it. And Dan said it is going to be released in about 2 months. So I'm assuming July, August, September. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere around September, maybe October. I don't know if they already have some out in the wild to, content creators that people are reviewing it already. But I got my application for the Emotiva affiliate. I filled it out. So now I'm just waiting for the actual approval to say, good, you can go ahead and start requesting stuff. So soon, guys. I'm really excited for the channel. I know you guys have been wanting to see some more reviews and some Emotiva stuff, especially with the new stuff that they have here. So I should be able to request some of that stuff. I don't know how long it's going to take based on, the chip shortage and all that stuff, but I should be able to start requesting some of these new products that they have. So that's the new receiver. As again, that's right here. It's this one here in the middle. So I'll click play on that just to give you. So here's that's another representative. I'm not exactly sure what his title is, but he works with. Actually, he said it in, I believe, Cheap Audio Man's live stream when he was there. I got to meet him as well, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And there's Dan right there. So there's Dan. And then we've got some other equipment over here, and I believe I got some close-ups of those over there. And there's a trash can. All right, so we'll go to our next. Okay. So this is actually the 2-channel room. So their new speakers, the T3 Plus, these are those speakers. And I don't really have a whole lot to say about them because one thing I want you to understand is this event was held in a hotel, and a lot of this equipment, at least the equipment that they had hooked up that you could listen to, it's in a huge room, an untreated room, and there's people walking in back and forth. So this room, the 2-channel room, there was food and drinks in the back of that room. So there's people coming in and out. So I didn't really get a chance to sit down and listen to the speakers like I wanted to. And again, I don't really want to give an objective review of how they sounded because doing that was not conducive to the environment. I want to get those in the channel, in my home theater with a controlled environment with my acoustic panels. And, I want to run, Anthem Arc Genesis on there. But that being said, in the environment that they were in, they sounded really, really good. I remember I walked into the 2-channel room and I was like, man, those speakers sound really good. And at the time, I didn't really realize that those were the new T3 Plus speakers. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, those are, so then I did sit down for maybe like a minute or two. Like I said, there was people walking in and out, and I am a germaphobe. As you saw, I have my mask on, so I was trying to, try to monitor my involvement. Obviously, I was there to meet people and stuff, but anyways, they sounded very good. Without being cliche and saying, oh, they sounded great, they sound amazing, I don't really know how they sound, how they're supposed to sound, because they weren't in the correct environment to review them. And then I realized that's actually the first time that I've heard ribbon tweeters. So those are the new speakers, and I think I have a more zoomed out video of them here. Yeah. So there they are. And then, of course, they have them hooked up to some of their amps. But here it is. You can see it, T3 Plus. So those are the speakers. But they sounded good. I'm interested to see how they sound in a controlled environment. So a lot of new products for me to request. Again, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get them, but I'm super excited about that. So that was the 2-channel room, and it looks like they were playing some music off of an iPad or something like that. So then we'll go here. So this is a video of all their subwoofers, Tower Power as I called it. So you've got some subwoofers here, and then you've got some bookshelf speakers, I think there's some ceiling speakers. You've got your, let's see here. So looks like you've got, and I think I have close-ups of this. I'm just gonna let this play because I have more pictures of these close up. Then you have their large format center channel. Thing is a beast. You see some scale here because of the other center channels that are on top, but my goodness, that thing was absolutely intimidating. And I have pictures of that we can go over. So then here's just kind of like a different vantage point of all the speakers. You've got your C1 Plus, your C2 Plus, and then your C3 Plus. That's their new center channel. Absolutely massive, just ridiculous. You've got some bookshelf speakers over here, the B2 Plus. I believe that's a new bookshelf speaker. Help me out in the comments. I think that one's new. And then you've got your T1, your T1 Plus, your T2 Plus, and your new T3 Plus four-standing speaker. And that's the one that was in the 2-channel room. Okay, so we'll go to our next picture. And that's basically the same thing here. I mean, look at that thing, man. That thing is just massive. So let me pause that right here. So this video and picture just doesn't do justice of how big that thing is. In person, it's legitimately intimidating. Now, I'm 6'1". I weigh 225. So seeing that, I was like, man, that thing is just intimidating. And I'm assuming, like, there's some other pictures where it shows the side, and I guess I'll just go ahead and let this play. But I'm pretty sure, unless that just center channel speaker is designed specifically just to be, mounted like it is, I would think that you could turn that thing up on its side and use it as an LCR, maybe behind an acoustically transparent screen or something. Okay, so over here we have our Emotiva C3 Plus. And again, I'm not sure if all of these speakers over here are new. I didn't get a chance to talk to a whole lot of people. So if you guys know if any of this stuff is new or not, then you can let me know down in the comments. But you've got your Emotiva C3 Plus, your Emotiva Volta A2 Plus, your Emotiva A1, and then an Emotiva Volta RTL 6.5. Not sure what that is. I think that's the end of the video. All right, so then, yeah, so here's absolutely massive. I'm really excited to see or to get that center channel. I've never heard any Emotiva speakers other than, you know, being there. But again, you know, that's not the correct environment. I would love to get that thing in because if we, let's take a look at this. So let me maximize this and then we'll zoom in a little bit. Oops. So we've got, looks like 2 woofers here, 2 woofers over there, so 4 woofers, and these are probably your mid woofers, and then a ribbon tweeter. This thing looks like it can go, I'm going to assume maybe 40, 30 hertz, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, they didn't have specs on it. But as big as that thing is and as many drivers as it has, I'm thinking it can go pretty low. Just absolutely massive. So then here's another picture of the Emotiva line. Not sure what that is. I don't know if that's the same as this speaker with like a grill or something, but actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there I can see through the screen. So there is a, I guess that is a screen there. I'm losing my thought. But I can see the driver back behind here. All right, and then here's a close up of the bookshelf. I'm sorry, not the bookshelf, but the tower speakers. So here's your new speaker, your new tower, your Emotiva T3 Plus, and then the rest of the lineup. So you got 4 speakers in the lineup now. And so these were some cables that they had, and then they had the GR1 headphones. And I'll talk about those later because Dan actually gave a bunch of those away in a raffle. But just a, man, just a really cool experience to be able to see some of the behind the scenes. Like, you just don't realize how many products that they have now. And then here's their subwoofer. So you've got your Emotiva XS15, your 15-inch sub, and then you've got your 12-inch sub, and then you've got an 8-inch Emotiva SE8. And I believe Dan gave this one away as one of the raffles. And then you've got an Emotiva SE12. So that one is a flex subwoofer. I need to brush up on that because I'm not sure what the difference is between the flex and just your, you know, your regular subwoofer. And then, so there's some more. So there's a 10-inch subwoofer there, and I believe there's an 8-inch on the top. Yeah, so there's another 8-inch there. So they have those stacked. All right, so then here's your XPA Gen 3 DR2 modular power amplifiers. And you can see some of the modules here in a little bit. But let me make this bigger so we can look at the stats on this. So the power output on both channels driven is 550 watts RMS into 8 ohms and 800 watts RMS into 4 ohms. Beast. Absolute beast. All right, what do we have next? So then it's the same amplifiers, just a different picture with both of them there. Love that brushed aluminum look. That's the same picture. Okay, so here's your module. So you have your XPA HC1. Let me make this bigger and we'll zoom in. So on the HC1, the power output is 300 watts RMS into 8 ohms and then 600 watts RMS into 4 ohms. And then you have your modules over here. You have your 150 watt stereo module. And then you've got your 600 watt balanced mono module. 600 watts, that's a beast. And then you've got your 300 watt mono module. So it's interesting to see what the modules look like for these modular amplifiers. And I believe Andrew Robinson had these on his channel. I think he reviewed these. I think these are the ones that he reviewed. So some powerful amps that Emotiva is pushing out. So then over here we have our Basics 5, A5, and A4. So for the A5, you've got 120 watts RMS into 8 ohms, 175 into 4 ohms at 2 channels driven. And then all channels driven, you've got 95 watts, RMS into 8, and then 130 watts RMS into 4. So if you want to use this, I think I'm going to try to upgrade my A100 to this, because now I have 15 speakers. So the most I can hook up at one time or use at one time is 11. Yes, I believe it's 11, because I only have 13 channels of amplification. And before I only had 11 speakers, but I added 4 more speakers. So now I have 15. So I have my XPA Gen 3, which is 3 channels, and then I have my UPA 700, which is 7 channels, and then I have that Basics 100, which is 2 channels. So in order for me to use all 15 at once, I'm going to need to upgrade, and I think I'm going to upgrade to that Basics A5, because they do, if you don't know, Emotiva does allow you to trade in your products for a credit towards another product. So that's really cool that they do that. And then for the Basics A4 4-channel amplifier, you've got 120 watts RMS into 8, 175 into 4, and then all channels driven 100 watts into 8 and 130 watts into 4 ohms. So that's that. That's the same picture, and then we have the Basics A7 and the A6. Okay, so for the 7-channel amplifier, 2 channels driven, you've got 120 watts RMS. Looks like it's about the same. 175 RMS. All channels driven, you've got 90 into 8 ohms, and then 125 into 4 ohms. And for the A6, it is also the same. So really cool that they have basically all your channels covered, from, you know, a monoblock all the way up to 7 channels. So you have so many options for object-based audio, Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, if you have Aura 3D. Just really, really cool that they have that many options. Okay, so that's the same picture. That's another video of Edge of Tomorrow. I'm not going to show you that. So I have a 30-minute limit on my camera, so it stopped, so I had to restart it again. But let's take a look at, let's take another look at this massive center channel. And it looks like the cones are partially woven here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah. It looks like they're partially woven. But I'm telling you guys, like, until you actually see this in person, it is very intimidating. And that thing is going to be a beast. I think that thing is going to fly off the shelves. All right, and here is a better close-up video of the T3 Plus. Now, I really like the texture of these speakers, and it's kind of hard to describe. I'm sure it's probably vinyl, but it's not, like, if you touch it, it's not smooth. It has almost this kind of like a slight grain texture to it, but also kind of smooth. It's felt really nice. I really like how they designed that. But obviously it's solid. So let's back up here a little bit. So you've got two mid-range woofers, or mid-range drivers, and then you've got your 2 woofers. And I don't remember what the size of these are. And then you've got your ribbon tweeter. So here is a picture of the raffle table. So these are headphones, and then he's got some DACs there. So I want to say that there was like 10 headphones that he gave away. So he gave away 10 headphones. He gave away the DACs with the headphones. And then here are some Emotiva bucks, I think they're called. Those were $100 each. And I believe he also had about 10 of those. So he gave those away. after he gave those away, he gave away $5,000, not cash, but $5,000 towards a purchase, and he divided it by 5. So 5 people got $1,000. He gave those away. Then he gave away an 8-inch subwoofer, and he just kept giving stuff away. And I'm talking about Dan. So Dan, after he would give something away, once he finished the actual raffle, he was like, all right, what else can I give away? And he would just start like looking around, trying to find something to give away. Then he gave 2 people the option to just have either a 2-channel amplifier or a 5-channel amplifier. And I think one gentleman got a 5-channel, and then somebody else I think got a 2. But he just kept giving stuff away. And he'd be like, all right, this is the last thing I'm going to give away. And then he'd give away more stuff. And he actually tried to give away an RMC1. And I was like, whoa, dude, that's like a $6,000 receipt. Like, he was going to straight up just give it away. And I think some of his subordinates were like, hey, we can't give that away. But that experience really sold me on Emotiva. Like I said, I've had Emotiva products in my home for almost 10 years before I attended this. And I've always loved Emotiva, but after seeing how generous Dan was and meeting him and seeing how nice he is, I'm sold forever on Emotiva. Because you don't usually get to see a company like this. Like, yeah, companies, you can walk into a Best Buy, but you don't always get to see the president and the owner. And to see how he actually treats his customers, he values them. This event was free. All you had to do was register online, walk in, they give you a shirt, they give you a name tag. He had food, he had drinks, and then he's just giving stuff away just for being there. You don't find that, man. And being able to see that for myself, I'm always going to buy Emotiva products because I know what the company is about, and I know how they're going to treat their customers. I know how I'm going to be treated, and that was just a really nice experience to see. I've always heard great things about Dan, but to actually see it in person was like, wow, man, like, if there are more companies like this, and he didn't have to give all that stuff away. I'm pretty sure he at least gave away somewhere between $10,000 or $15,000 worth of equipment, if not more. Just an amazing company. And now I'm affiliated with that company. Like, I'm so excited for that opportunity. So I'm sold on Emotiva, man. Like, that was just an amazing experience. And there's Dan right before the raffle. And let me open this up. So they're about to start the raffle. And just to let you guys know, if you've never met Dan, dude is super, super funny. So he kept doing this thing where, so the raffle, apparently they had raffle tickets from Friday and Saturday. I don't know if they actually had a raffle Friday or if they just combined them, but man, probably 75% of the raffle tickets that he called were from Friday, and obviously most of those people weren't there. I think there was one person that showed up twice, but if they weren't there, he would just take the ticket and then like throw it behind them. And then he started doing this where he's like, hey guys, if they're not here, I'm going to throw this ticket behind me, and we're going to say, that guy, gone. So if he called a number and they weren't here and they weren't there, he'd throw it behind them and everyone would say, gone. And he kept doing that. And then whenever he called a number that was there, he would be like, this person here. And everybody would just, it was just a fun experience, man. Like, he just made it so fun. He got everybody involved. And I was kind of bummed out because my raffle ticket was number 92. They called 91, 93, 94, and 95. in addition to all the other numbers that they call. And I was like, yep, that's pretty much how my life goes. But honestly, I didn't really care because the experience was just fun. And the highlight was that I got to be an affiliate. So even though I didn't win in the raffle, I won in another way because, and that's another thing. So Nick, the guy who is the content manager, when I met with him and I was asking him how the affiliate program works, and he was like, we want to promote you. We want to help your channel grow. We want to help you promote not only our products, but promote yourself because we know that it's a good partnership. So he's like, we want you to succeed and we want to be a part of that. And I was just like, man, this company is, I've never met a company like that before. And obviously not everybody can do that, to be the content creator and have that partnership. And obviously, you know, they feel like they can trust me. And I guess they feel like my content is decent enough to be able to partnership with them. So I'm super happy and I'm super thankful that I have that ability to work with a company like this. Again, just A+ company sold. So that's that. That was my experience at the Texas Audio Roundup. So yeah, they announced a new receiver. Again, Basics MR1, 11 channel receiver with 13.2 channel decoding 175 watts across the LCR, 100 watts for the rest of the 8 surrounds, under $2,000, probably somewhere around a September or October release. And I also wanted to talk about, so I met the Cheap Audio Man. He was there. And it's funny because when I walked into the hotel, I checked in, got my badge, they gave me a shirt, I talked to Nick, and then I actually went into the Emotiva showroom. The first person that came up to me was Randy, the Cheap Audio Man. You know, I had my camera there and I had my tripod and my camera, and I had a suitcase and my backpack, and I had my name tag. He comes up to me, he's like, hey, who are you with? And I'm like, I'm not with anybody, I'm just by myself. I said, I have a YouTube channel, and I said, I just passed 1,000 subscribers, so I'm trying to get some content. He was like, oh man, that's awesome. He's like, I remember when I had, you know, 1,000 subscribers. He's got 100,000 right now. But just a super down to earth dude. He gave me his contact card. And he was like, man, if you ever need anything, like, let me know. And I was just like, man, what a cool dude, you know? And then I saw him again. I think he was getting ready to set up for his live stream. And he was like, for real, man, like, if you ever need anything, like, let me know and I'll help you. So really, really cool dude. Randy, the Cheap Audio Man. I'm sure everybody that's watching knows him. If you don't know him, go check him out. Go subscribe. He's got some really cool content on his channel. And he's a funny dude. You know, it's funny because every content creator has their own style and has their own personality, and they're all different. So, you know, he's funny. He's got a different sense of humor, but it's funny. So go check him out. What else do I want to talk about? Sofa Baton. So you guys are killing it on that Sofa Baton remote. So the last time I checked this morning, you guys, I think I've bought 77 now. That's pretty cool. And that shows Sofa Baton a lot of support. That's going to help them out a lot, guys. You know, one thing that they really care about is making a good quality remote, and they want your feedback. They actually want your feedback, positive and negative. And just also a good company. And Sofa Baton is always going to have a soft spot in my heart because they were really the first company that gave me an opportunity. That was the first real legitimate piece of electronics that I had to review, and I wanted to make sure that I did the best that I could. I'm still learning. I'm still going to be learning, but you guys have shown how much you support the channel, and how much you trust me, how much you trust my input, and I really appreciate that. And I'm always going to give my honest input, no matter what. And so thank you for supporting the channel, and because I have an affiliate link with that, and I'm making a pretty good amount of money off just that remote. And that's going to allow me to build or configure a office slash studio in my garage. And that's possible because of you guys. And I'm so thankful. I'm very, very appreciative. I want to do something in the future, hopefully probably around like 5,000 subscribers or something. Obviously, I don't have a lot to do right now. I'd like to do some type of giveaway in the future. So I'm going to be thinking about that. And hopefully by that time, I'll have enough companies to work with where I can say, hey, can you guys, you guys want to work with me and give some stuff away? So, but thank you so much on the Sofa Baton. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, last thing, which has nothing to do with home theater, I guess, is Superman. So for those of you that don't know, Superman is like my favorite superhero of all time. Like, he's number one. And number two fluctuates between Hulk and Iron Man. But Superman is my favorite superhero, always has been. And there's been a lot of rumors and speculation on whether Henry Cavill is coming back. And I'm kind of bummed out because I was getting really excited and it sounded like he was going to come back and he was going to be at Comic-Con. He didn't show up, and I'm hearing conflicting rumors on that he's done playing Superman. But I want to know what you guys think about that, because I think Henry Cavill is the best Superman by far. There's been some good ones, but what he was able to do with it, his acting and getting in shape for that role, like, to me, Man of Steel is one of the best 3 movies for me of all time. I love that movie. I can watch that movie over and over. Doesn't matter. But I want to know what you guys think about that, because, I mean, DC has made a lot of kind of dumb decisions, and I've heard that DC wants him back, but I don't know if he's going to come back. I don't know if it's due to money or what, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about Henry Cavill as Superman. So that's all I got for episode 1. This is a new series, so I'm going to try to grow and evolve it the best that I can. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this episode, what you think about the format, the content, like what do I need to improve on, because I want to make sure that I make content that you guys enjoy and that you guys don't get bored. And with a podcast is a little bit different format. It's a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit more, sometimes I don't really need to put music on there. And like I said, this is more laid back, and hopefully it came across that way. I don't have a script. I don't have my teleprompter, and I'm comfortable right now. Not that I'm not comfortable when I'm recording stuff, but there's sometimes there's pressure on yourself when you're trying to make a good video, because, there's a lot of factors that go into how YouTube ranks your videos and how it pushes it out. So, but, with a podcast, I can just sit down, I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I don't have to worry about a limit. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, you can. If you guys want to scrub through, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about this podcast, and if you have any ideas of how I can improve it, things that you don't like, doesn't matter what it is, let me know in the comments. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast here for episode 1. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for all the support, for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for the Sofa Baton, for supporting me. And I am super, super excited about the future of this channel and becoming an Emotiva affiliate. I'm going to have a lot of great content for you guys once I'm able to start requesting. And hopefully I can get other companies to contribute to that as well. So always remember, no matter where you're at on your home theater journey, make sure you enjoy it. For Hatoraid Cowboy Cinema, I'm Hatoraid Cowboy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.